would you describe your product mindset?
My product mindset grows along the way because I have more than 10 years experience in Romania of retail and business to business. And I can tell you about the late mindset that I have, which is highly related to the reality check. I really love to have a reality check of a product. I mean to fit my product, to shape my product or to reshape it based on the reality check of the market. And therefore, I am participating into discussion with customers. So in Orange Business Services, we are highly used, especially with big customers, when we start a discussion about a new product, to have a complete team on the table in front of them, with sales, with pre-sales, and also with the product manager, because from this perspective I can highly understand the real needs, the real barriers of the customer in adopting my product, and therefore it's a very simple, straightforward, with a reality check, insight information of the market and the customers.
And along your career in product management, I'm sure that your perception evolved, and it was thanks to a few aha moments. Can you share one or two of those aha moments along the growth of your product understanding?
I think the last aha moment, which is very, let's say, in the top of my mind now, when I came in Orange in January 2009, in the first day actually, Orange actually offers me a more relaxed and a more expansive playground. And what I mean with that is they give me the freedom to experience, to have the chat with the customers, to be in direct contact with the customers, with internal stakeholders. And this also comes with responsibility, because freedom comes also with responsibility. So that was an aha, and this actually concludes after 2 years on the biggest growth on revenue on my product lines. That's in a very summarized way. So having the freedom and the culture of a company who gives you and offers you the playground, and freedom means to experiment. And also freedom means to safely fail sometime, yeah? That was an aha moment. That was, let's say, a little bit different than my previous experience, where it was, let's say, a little bit more stiff or rigid. That was an aha moment. And I actually, what I did differently from the past, I took it and I speculated and I own it, because I didn't do it in the past, to acknowledge this freedom and to be responsible of it.
And when you think of the achievements that you've had, what is one particular achievement that you are really proud
of? The latest one, I think it's creating trustworthiness in my stakeholders inside my company. That was a feedback that came through many channels, so it's an objective feedback. It was not a direct and very diplomatic feedback. So, because this is an up, as I saw a speaker today that says you need an alignment with your stakeholders. And this moving up, actually, one is the adherence of the stakeholders to your product. And it is called evangelization, let's say, something, internal evangelization of your product. And you can see that, or at least I'm looking at that, by the performance of the product in respect of revenue. You see the growth. When you have internal trustworthiness, people are more eager to propose, to fit into the customer adoption your product, much more than maybe other products. Okay, and this is also another truth. There is also competition between products. So I think creating trustworthiness environment, which actually concludes from this freedom and from this responsibility that you have your concise approach, your realistic approach, internally or externally. I mean, with your internal customer or external customers.
If you have a friend that would be interested in starting a career in product management, what would be some advice that you'd have, because now you have more than a decade experience in product management?
It's an advice that actually I forgot to tell it on the stage, and I'm happy to tell it now because I want to leave the people to go to the coffee. It's manage and do best the basic stuffs. The day-to-day and business is usually stuff. And that means when you're starting up, start to learn the basic of the product management. And there are some, let's say, let's call it Bibles of product management. There are some, for example, the grandfather of product management is Philip Kotler. Start with Philip Kotler. That's the basic of every product. And learn the basic. Also, I was in a stage that I need and I feel like I want to relearn the basics, because along the way I actually, let's say, a little bit lost myself into complexity, and I want to come back to the basics. And nowadays, which didn't happen in the past, there are a lot of courses, online courses that is teaching you the basics. And for someone who is not coming, from example, from the marketing environment, I was a call center agent, a telesales agent, a sales agent, a relationship manager in banking. So I have this path that comes in the area of marketing. But if you come from, I don't know, technology departments, or you are a programmer, take the basic course of product management and see if it fits your energy, your character, and your desire. And I can summarize that in, before you launch into this journey, test it. Try to see what are the basics. These courses, I can say, are highly approachable, are not expensive, and it's better, as I said on the stage, to pay an amount of money that can cut your future costs if you fail. Maybe it's good to test it in the beginning to see if it fits you and you like it, and starting from there, from the basics.
Okay. Whenever I talk to product managers, just like you mentioned your company and your products very often, because product managers are so deeply passionate about what they do. And I always try to take them out of the daily work and the company and the product that they are working on, and ask them, what is a product that you particularly enjoy using in your personal life? And it can be a hardware or a software, an app on your phone, whatever you think captures your mind or your attention.
Also in my personal life, I have some passions, and I'm also I'm a president of NGO, which is in a totally different domain, and nobody figures out what it is, because it's highly new in Romania. That's an NGO that actually builds the community of the owners and passionate people for Vespa scooters, which actually starts in 53 in Italy, all those communities, and spread around the world, and have, for example, in Europe, more than 100,000 members, registered members. So it's huge, actually. That's also, I consider it a product, because it has a proposition, it has an environment, and you have some benefits. Just to think outside the box of my day-to-day product-oriented thinking. That's also a product, and I'm using that. I mean, I'm using a community as a product, and having the benefits of a community in my passion that's really highly related to my day-to-day personal life, for example. And also I'm proud that I've built that, but I'm also use it on an international level. But to have a second example, because it fits into the technology, let's say, I think everybody who watches us are interested in that. Now I'm using assistants from in my home. I'm highly using them, and for example, I'm using. I choose to use from different reasons. Google Assistant in my home, and I'm really loving it. I'm really loving how it develops and how it helps me, my family, and also my kid in order to learn. So that's a product that comes up in my mind that I'm using often, and I'm very happy of tasting it.
Nice. What would be your message to the product community in Timișoara and in Romania in general?
My message, I think, for all the product managers which are product managers or want to become product managers in Romania, in every region, is to be related to the reality checks. Because in my path, I had periods that I was aiming so high and I thought that I can touch some limits that actually are not, we are not finding in our business reality environments in Romania. As a product manager, of course, you need to be creative. You have some models around the world that you are looking at, and to name a few, for example, in technology, Steve Jobs. Everybody is talking about Steve Jobs. But if you look at the reality of the business environment of Romania, every product manager should look at that and to acknowledge that where we are. Of course, we need to develop, we need creativity. But my message is, to be successful in Romania, look at the reality check and focus on the things that helps you to sell your product. Maybe that's a more corporatistic approach because everything is breaking down to the revenue. So in the end, your product needs to be sold to make money. Focus on that.